welcome back to Memory Bites. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos. I've been busy with work commitments and, of course, family commitments, most importantly. Been doing charity events and other such things. But I've been wanting to do these videos for quite a while now. Well, since the beginning of October, really. And this is exploring my collection to look at horror games. Or Halloween-inspired games. Games that are perfect for this time of year, because I love this time of year. I love everything about the autumn and Halloween. Love everything really. Just love that stuff. So, I decided to split these videos into two parts. I'm going to have my Resident Evil collection, because I've got quite a few, and everything else in another video. So, get on with it. Resident Evil. I've loved that series of games for ages. Since the second game, really. It was my first Resident Evil love. My love for Resident Evil first started with Resident Evil 2. I first played it on a demo on the front of a PlayStation magazine. Because back in the day, before digital downloads were even a thing, you bought a magazine, most time it had a demo on the front of it, and you load it into your PlayStation, you can play it. And it was a Resident Evil demo on the front of a magazine. And I played it so much I broke it. So I had to buy my brother a second magazine to actually replace it. Loved it so much, I then went into the city centre looking for Resident Evil 2. Turns out I was about a month too early. But I did buy the Resident Evil game that was out at the time. And that was Resident Evil Director's Cut, which I have here. Which actually came with a demo. Now, I should say, I by no means have every single Resident Evil game out there. There are tons. There are lots and lots of Resident Evil games out there. This is just my collection. But every October, I could put these in. It really gets you in the Halloween mood. So yeah, this is my first game that I bought. Not the first game I played, but the first game I bought. I still play it today. Even play the demo sometimes, see how far I can get. But amazing game. Love that game so much. Of course, it was inevitably followed up by the game I wanted all along. My favourite of the series. Still love this. Love this game. Still takes me hours to do it, but I love this game. Always gets you in the Halloweeny kind of mood. It's great. Huge game too. And of course, Resident Evil 2 followed up by Resident Evil 3. Another great game. Lots to look at, lots to unlock. Really good staple game. Now the Resident Evil game I got after that was actually a light gun game. They actually made light gun games for the ps1 Resident Evil. Excuse me. And you could use your G-Con 45. Remember that game? Remember that for the Time Crisis? And you move around using your G-Con. And then you point at the screen when you want to shoot the zombies. Resident Evil Survivor. This was the first kind of spin-off, if you would, of the Resident Evil series. So it mentions characters like Leon and Claire in here, but it doesn't involve them. This takes place on an island, I think, somewhere in the Pacific or something. And they mention an outbreak in Raccoon City, and that's how it ties in. But yeah, you use your G-Con, and you walk around and you point at the screen and fire. But it's not bad. By no means fantastic. It's also really short as well. But it's not bad. I'll show you the back here. It actually uses the same kind of... it actually uses the zombies from the Resident Evil 2. It's got lickers as well. So yeah. Not bad. I don't know if it's rare or not, but it's not bad. Okay. So then it was followed up, of course, by PlayStation 2 games. So the first Resident Evil I got for the PlayStation 2... Come on, come here you. Was this. Code Veronica X. Code Veronica X. And this one comes with a Devil May Cry demo in it. But yeah, I've not completed this yet. I've actually got quite a way through. I think the GameCube version, no, Saturn. I think this came out for the Saturn first. I could be wrong about that, but and this is the next one I bought anyway. I don't have any Saturn games. Never played a Saturn. Never owned a Saturn. Don't know if it's any good or not. I don't even know if it's the same game. Could be completely different for all I know. I don't know. But Resident Evil Code Veronica X. And then that was followed up, actually, by another light gun game. Resident Evil Survivor 2 Code Veronica. So this is just the light gun version of this. And that's how much I paid for it, second hand. A while ago now, not now, not recently. It's not a recent pickup, but that was a while ago. But yeah, again, not bad, not fantastic, not bad. Quite a challenge, that one as well, for a light gun game, anyway. Then, of course, I picked up Resident Evil 4, which I do love. I really love this. More action than survival horror, I would say, but really good. This came out on the GameCube first, I think. But I never owned a GameCube. So, still don't own a GameCube, actually. But, yeah, really good game. I don't own a GameCube, but I do own a GameCube game. My only GameCube game, if I can find it, is this. Just because I'd never played it, and I've never owned it. I've still only played it a few times, but it works great on my Wii. I have one of the first edition Wii's, or first release Wii's, that do play Xbox, GameCube games. And I have a GameCube controller, which fits nicely in it, and it works great. What I didn't have, however, is a memory card. Yes, you still need a memory card to save it. And I didn't buy one. So I can play it for a few hours, and then inevitably have to turn it off, start all over again. Really get a GameCube memory pack. That's what I need to get. Then I started collecting for the Wii. Resident Evil games for the Wii. Now the first one I had to get, because my brother has a GameCube and he had this. I had to get this on the Wii. It's the remake of the first game, which is great. Updates all the graphics, updates. It's still the same mansion, but there's extra bits on it. So I've played Resident Evil Director's Cut a bunch of times. I could probably walk through it now blindfolded, but this still takes me a while to get used to. The initial layout is the same, but they've added bits and changed bits and then moved little bits about. But it's really good, and it's really spooky too. If this is starting to seem a touch dated, and the voice acting, of course, is laughable. Some really corny quotes in this. This one is much more atmospheric. This one's just pure nostalgia now for me. But dropping stuff. This one, really good. And then I saw this. Now, initially, I had no idea what it was. I looked at it, and at first I thought I was buying the remake when I saw this. But then I look at the back, didn't recognise any of it, so I bought it just on an off chance, not knowing what it was. Turns out, it's a rail shooter. You know, the camera moves along, you point your Wii control at the screen. It's a light gun game, basically. It's a rail shooter, it's an on-rail shooter. And this is, it goes through the story of Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, and Resident Evil 3. So some really good games there. So basically the games that involve all the Umbrella stuff, which is why it's called Umbrella Chronicles. I should have figured that out again. But it is really good. It wasn't very expensive either. It was about maybe £5 at the time. It might be even cheaper now, I don't know. But lots of hours of gameplay in there, especially if you're a light gun fan, which I am. Really good. So I had to follow that up. Had to. With the Dark Side Chronicles, which again is a rail shooter, but it goes through Resident Evil 2, of course, which is the game I love. I love that game. It also goes through Code Veronica as well. But yeah, I bought it mainly for the Resident Evil 2. Because I love it. I've been waiting for an update of the Resident Evil 2 for a while now. It's possible they're doing a remake for it. For PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One X maybe. I don't know. But that would be when I bought one. Right. So, next. Oh, I had to get this as well. Another copy of Resident Evil 4, the Wii edition. The controls are a lot more responsive on this. Makes aiming and firing a lot easier. Again, not played it all the way through, because I've got a PlayStation 2 version, of course, but it is a good version of it. If you have the opportunity to pick it up, then do so. It is really good. Now this is the latest edition of Resident Evil I actually own. 5. I don't have 6 yet, but this isn't bad. Brings Chris back into it. Not bad game. Again, more action based than survival horror, I would say, but not bad. Then we move on to the handhelds. Yes. I picked that up from the old Game Station store back in the day when it was open and running. $5.99. I actually thought it was quite expensive at the time, considering the box was so damaged and wrecked and stuff. But yeah, you get I had the manual with it. Got the instruction book with it. Game. And I hadn't actually seen any reviews on it, so again I just bought it on the off chance, and I'm glad I did now. So apparently this is quite rare and expensive to pick up. I don't know. I have it, so I don't look for it, I guess. It's not what I'd sell, because of course I love my Resident Evil games. I wouldn't sell any of them. Apparently it's quite expensive to pick up. I don't know. I just really love it. It's almost like a top-down RPG. And then when you encounter a zombie, it goes to a first-person mode. But it has a timer across the bottom that slides, and a target area. And you have to time your press so it hits the target, otherwise you miss shooting the zombie. And if you've got more than one zombie coming at you, you get 2 target areas that you have to hit as it slides along. It's complicated to explain, but I'm sure there's loads of footage on YouTube you can check out if you need to. If you do get a chance to pick this up for relatively cheap, do it. It is good. It's good to have Resident Evil on the Game Boy Color though. It's quite fun. I had to pick this up as well. The DS. Deadly Silence. Which is actually the first Resident Evil game on DS. 2 versions of it. You have a classic mode, which plays exactly like the PlayStation 1 game. Ammo's in the same place, items are in the same place. And then you have Deadly Silence mode, where again, when you encounter a zombie, it becomes like a first person, and you use your stylus to swipe the screen, to slash with your knife. You use your knife to kill these things. And it's not bad. If you can time it right, it's not bad until you reach the snake, and that is a pain. Absolute pain in the behind. So most of the time I stick to the classic one for this. Because, again, it's Resident Evil 1. I can take it with me wherever I go. Okay, these are the last 2 Resident Evil games I have now. And they're for the 3DS. Picked up this one. Mercenaries 3D. It's not bad. £25 when I picked it up. So I thought I was getting quite a good deal there. It's a good game. As you can see, it's all mercenary missions. But the one I really wanted was this one. Revelations. Not got number 2 yet. So I'm still working through this one. But really good. Really good game. Yeah. This takes me back to the first 3, which for me are the best trilogy for the PlayStation 1 you can get. For me. Really good. Oh no, I missed one out. Oh. So maybe. I don't know why I missed it out. It's because I've actually played this more than half an hour at a time. Because I just can't get into it. I know. A Resident Evil game I can't get into. But, yeah. It's the Outbreak. Number 1. First Outbreak one. Because I couldn't get into it, I didn't buy number 2. At all. I just could not get into this game. For the life of me. I mean, I watched the intro. I love the intro. I mean, it's set during the outbreak of Raccoon City. But I just couldn't get into it at all. Plus, it kills me every single time. I'll try. It goes a few months, and I'll try it again, and then I'll play it for a while, and then I'll give up on it and wait a few more months. That's that kind of game. But that's it. And that's it for my Resident Evil games. As I say, I'm a huge fan of the Resident Evil series for a while, quite a while now. So much so I even went and bought some reading material on it. I bought these. This is the full set of S.D. Perry books. Now most of them are just the game adaptations. So you got Resident Evil 0, 1 of course being number 1. Book 3 is actually Resident Evil 2. Book 5 is Resident Evil 3, and then Book 6 is Code Veronica. 2 and 4 are original stories. So the author, S.D. Perry, has actually come up with some original stories. And when you read them, it is like you are playing the game. If you're a big fan of these Resident Evil games, and you know the layout and you know what it is, but when she describes something, or when they describe something in the book, you can picture it in your head, which is what makes it really good. So when they do the original stories, again, you can picture it in your head, even though it's made up. Those are really good. I also have some comics as well. Some Resident Evil comics. Now, they only released 5 of these at the time, I've come to realise. But I only have 4 of them. I'm actually missing number 2. So, it's these comics. I have 4 of them. They only released 5 apparently. I don't know. But these are original Resident Evil stories. Some involving the characters. Some are just spin-off stories. I'll show you. There you go. See? Real blood and guts kind of stuff. I actually went looking for issue 2 online. Apparently it would have cost me between £25 and £50 to buy one issue. No, not doing that. Well, good to have them. If you ever see one cheap, of course I'll pick it up, but I'm not going to spend £50 on one comic. I'm not that bad. Yet. And of course you can't talk Resident Evil without the movies. Now there's 2 sets of movies for those that don't know. There's the Mila Jovovich, well, I'm saying that right, Mila Jovovich movies. Here's an example. Here's the first one. It's actually my favourite one of all the movies. Number 2 is not bad, but this is my favourite one. And then you have the computer animated ones. And there's 3 of them so far, I think. Here's the first one, which is really good. Really, really good. You've got Leon and Claire back together again. I think these movies, or this one takes place between 4 and 5. Resident Evil 4 and 5, I could be wrong. It's been a while since I watched this. But yeah. So after Code Veronica, but before Resident Evil 4 maybe, or after Resident Evil 4. The timeline confuses me, but yeah. So that was my Resident Evil collection. Again, not all of them. I'm still still not on number 6 yet, Resident Evil 6. I haven't got Raccoon City stories. I haven't got Revelations 2. Still lots missing. But I'll pick those up sometime. That's my Resident Evil collection so far though. So this was part 1 of my gaming for Halloween videos. Part 2 will be my other horror games. And I've got lots of them. Not just for adults, got some kiddie ones as well. Stuff to really get you in the Halloween mood. So keep an eye out for that. And so until next time, thanks for joining me. See you soon.